Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. Well, I was a little bit late today. I really should be here 5 minutes earlier. Oh, treasuries open up. Immediately they're selling. Not surprised. Let me show you why. Coming back to the charts, volume profile. So first of all, let's just show that the E-mini did pretty okay yesterday, and it's definitely doing well overnight. Once again, new all-time high. Treasuries, meanwhile, yesterday they had some dips and then they came back up, dips and came back up. So they were really jerking around with it. But I really think that the appropriate reaction is to sell. And I would like to see 136.16. Well, now it's way further. We got to wait for it since it was way down here. Anyways. So that's where we are there. Oil, also higher. Man, it's just all the things, isn't it? Gold is higher. Hey, gold actually having an okay moment here. Well, that makes sense because, I don't know, the dollar is just getting pummeled here. So I think we're probably going to see everything up a little bit, aren't we? Copper, though, man. Copper is the one that I'm like, why am I not in this? Why am I not in this, guys? It's been looking good this whole time. Why am I not in? Copper. Oh, well. Oh, well. And then, of course, well, that's not all. Bitcoin, 24,000. Look at the futures on this. It's kind of interesting. Like, if they're not... The people that trade the futures, that trade it with the market orders, they are not using it to buy Bitcoin. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but from 20,000 to 24,000, that's like a 20% rise, right? Is there more in it? It's showing a little bit of volatility there, so I think that it is going to rest and pull back a little bit for now. But I continue to see in Bitcoin. Sorry, the news squawk is in my ear here. The thing that I continue to see in Bitcoin is that even though they're crazy overvalued, they are not overhyped yet. Like, the amount of like media attention that it's getting it's definitely after yesterday it's high, but it's not quite what I remember seeing from previous peaks. So I don't know. And another thing is something that we need to consider. You know, I was thinking, well, they probably want to sell before the end of the year. But we've got Ethereum futures coming out now, right? When does that go live? They announced that yesterday. February 8th? Oh, well, there's probably going to have to be a big pullback before that. Yeah. But I have a really hard time seeing a real collapse if there's going to be futures coming out, right? So we should factor that in. All right. Well, we've got news. We got jobless claims looking for 5,598,000. Continuing claims and initial claims of 800,000. And just remember, last week it was 853. It was a bad number. It was worse than expected. We also got a bad retail sales number. Oh, we're going to get building permits and housing starts too? Well, anyways, I do think that there is a risk that the initial jobless claims is worse than expected. However, I'm not too sure that it will really have a devastating, long-lasting impact on the day's action. So let's just see what they do. And then on the other hand, it could be good and they just take off. I don't know. Pierre says Seth for president. No. Don't drag me into don't drag me into that. They will shred me to bits. Them politics people. Well, if I could be so lucky. I think over in the treasuries, we've got to be careful because they're showing some significant signs of manipulation. Like it doesn't take much to move them around these days, and it kind of feels like that it just goes to wherever the market maker wants it to. If there are bubbles around, they're being helped by Fed Chairman Jay Powell. So there's a question for you guys. What's the use in keeping interest rates low and keeping a lot of liquidity in the system and all that sort of stuff if everybody's just going to go buy Bitcoin with it? Oh yeah, by the way, when does Tesla hit the S&P 500? We stopped watching that 21st. The 21st. That is next Monday, right? Yes, okay. Yeah, thank you, Steve.
Steve Wright says 21st.
There you go. Okay. Okay, initial claims higher than expected, 885 versus 800. The E-mini did react on that. So let's see here. The continuous claims is slightly less than expected, 5,508 versus 5,598. Again, initial claims 885 versus 800. Building permits 6.2%. Housing starts 1.2%. Those are the month-over-month numbers. So for November, we get 1.547, which is actually slightly less than expected, and the building permit slightly more than expected, 1.639.
Steve Wright says I heard funds get rebalanced before on or that day though.
Well, yeah, I think that they're allowed to buy it right now, right? That's where it's like I view the inclusion to the S&P 500 as a possible sell the news event, right? I don't know if it will happen exactly the day that it starts trading, though. And that's the difficulty, is then you have to ask yourself, what is it really worth? And I haven't done that kind of analysis, although anybody that I've seen that's tried to do that kind of analysis ends up saying that Tesla is massively overvalued, and then earnings come out and there's something about that earnings that kind of outpaces the expectations of what, like the people weren't expecting the whole credits, environmental credits. And I didn't hear anybody saying anything about that. My mind is just all over the place this morning, guys. I just went back to Bitcoin in my head thinking, okay, well, how much more can there be in the Bitcoin? Not that I would buy it. Maybe there's some trash that you can buy that might that might get a bump from it. There you go. Patrick says there's a narrative in the Bitcoin space. You either believe it's going to 1 million, you believe it's going to 0. No. Where is the... Okay. Oh, I don't necessarily want that there. If they break 28.5 here in the treasury, oh, it won't run. Okay, that's interesting. Something changed. Was it running my Bitcoin valuation thing and it's not? It's not working. Need horizontal lines. Looks like that low trough there probably sells 6,000. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay. I'm done thinking about how to respond to people, and I'm watching this. They're not really pushing it at 27.5, but the level 2 is pretty flaky there. E-mini has in the stop out zone, maybe 37.06. Not sure. Okay, no, they take 28 on only 600 contracts. Okay, so there was some more volume there at that spot. Maybe they're expecting some risk off here. That's a really curious lift in the treasury for sure. And are they going to reload at 30?
Lobo Trader says good morning Seth and good morning traders. Hope all is well at your end, slightly smiling face.
I think we're okay.
Pierre Klotz says hello everyone.
I'm not seeing a rise in the dollar here. The dollar at 89.62. Yeah, they really fell. 90 was low. Now half a point below 90.
Block buy.
What? Did you see that 5K at 31? Wow. Oh, okay. Reginald bought that. That's interesting. I gave all of my robots names last night. Well, I don't know, guys. Some spooky stuff going on in the treasuries. The selling that we had was well before the news, and now after the news here, a pretty heavy bid and some panic buying up here into 138 area. I think that guy that bought at 31 was someone taking a stop loss. And we're seeing significant flattening as well in the 2s and 10s. Okay, well, I'm going to try another one here.
Pierre Clot says if it SA stop loss, it S probably me.
Oh, okay. You bought 4,000 contracts?
Pierre Clot says 3,999. Lobo Trader says lol.
They squeezed him. I mean, that was a straight up squeeze. They ticked it up 2-3 ticks on practically nothing, and then these big guys had to come in and buy. It was a total squeeze. Well, things have been fairly okay since Reginald took along there. Do you like my... Is Reginald too weird of a name? I thought long and hard about what to name them. Not really. I didn't spend very much time at all. Stimulus news. Short-term stopgap to Sunday possible. Are Republicans opposed to FEMA dollars and health pot for governors? Brexit's still ongoing.
Uzi Knesset says we named our robot vacuum Reggie when we had it lol.
There you go. Well, Reggie is going to probably take more trades than the other traders, so the other robots. Okay. So they hit me at 31.5. Live Squawk tweeting Politico story. Congress prepares for weekend work as stimulus stalls. So is that why the treasuries are bid? Good. GOP is pushing back against several Democratic requests in the $900 billion proposal. Negotiators on Capitol Hill and at the White House have still not wrapped up talks over a nearly $1 trillion coronavirus relief package ahead of a Friday deadline as governors and Democrats spar over tens of billions of dollars in government spending. Top congressional aides and White House officials say it's possible they will need to pass another short-term spending measure to avoid a shutdown Friday night. A weekend session in Congress is becoming increasingly likely, and top aides are discussing a bill to keep the government funded until Sunday to allow for further talks and drafting of the rescue package. Congressional leaders are optimistic about cutting a deal and ending the lame duck session within days, so there could be little room to maneuver without another short-term spending bill. But congressional leaders have not publicly announced a deal or legislative text, even as they remain optimistic about the state of play. And Travis is going short. Interesting. They disagree. I would not expect those two to disagree. Which maybe is a problem. If I combine them together, it would take it out. Well, and they're both kind of the same risk reward and everything too. So it wouldn't make sense to like run them on different accounts and stuff. Well, we'll just let it play out and see what happens. House and Senate would both need to approve the year-end funding bill and the coronavirus package, and in the Senate, any one member can delay passage. Even if a deal is reached Thursday, it could take a day to draft the legislation. Coronavirus package will include a new round of roughly $600 stimulus checks, beefed up unemployment benefits of $300 a week, about $325 billion for small businesses, and money for transportation, vaccine distribution, and schools. According to lawmakers and aides, leaders are hopeful it will be married with a $1.4 trillion omnibus spending bill funding the government through September. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said late Wednesday Congress is going to get there, and Speaker Nancy Pelosi cited progress, and she hoped a short-term spending bill would not be necessary. Republicans are pushing back against several key Democratic requests in the rescue package. Democratic negotiators Chuck Schumer and Pelosi are asking for as much as $90 billion for governors to spend on healthcare-related concerns, while Republicans are terming that an unnecessary slush fund. The GOP negotiators remained opposed to a $1 billion pot of money for FEMA to deal with the COVID-related emergencies. That same pot of money passed the House easily earlier this year. Okay. And no, I think Reggie's going to win, guys. Like, we moved down on the jobless claims. Well, it was like I was saying before, like they'll sell and then ignore it, right? Although I do wonder if maybe the treasuries are moving because of tips that they have on the legislation. I'm not sure that a delay over the weekend is really a super cause for concern, but you know, it's enough that the Treasury futures guys could yank it around a bit. And they clear 138. Feeling a little bit of that nauseousness again. I had eggs, a banana, and an English muffin. For breakfast. I do feel a little thirsty. And they're going to take 01 as well. So where is that, relatively speaking? We were at these levels 2 days ago. 04 is the next major pivot above us. It's flattening so hard, guys. Well, when it's trading like that, dude, I think that what we need to do is we need to dump this. Start over again. Darn it. Pretty spooky in the treasury, man. The thing that's so crazy about this in the treasuries is that they opened up selling it so badly.
Uzi Knesset says Jeebus.
Well, that one pulled back a little bit harder than I still feel a little nauseous, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, probably didn't eat enough for dinner yesterday, and then kind of went to bed a little bit hungry, and so it may be that the food just hasn't worked it to my bloodstream yet. Well, given the backdrop, assuming that this is because of coronavirus relief package concerns, could we see another really volatile news-driven day like we had on Tuesday? Okay. Well, E-mini rising up there. I'm just realizing that I FOMO'd into that. This guy is like, oh, you don't know anything. And it's like, well, that's all factored in, you idiot. Yes, I'll do it this way. Running away from me in the treasury still. Oops. Well, I wanted it at 01. Look at that. They didn't fill me at all. I need to come in here, clear these columns out. Clear out. Why is there like the open and stuff? That's not the open. I think that was. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Skilver says smell good today?
Smell good? What? Well, I'm just looking at this. I'm glad that I got out where I did and everything, because that could have been really bad. I'm kind of thinking about selling it again, but I don't know if that's so wise. I am still incredibly surprised at the way that the Treasury is moving.
Vlad Stolyarov says DXY index down, Bitcoin up, Groundhog Day.
Yeah, I don't know. Something weird's going on here, man. I can't completely, doesn't all fit together. The amount of flattening that came in there is concerning.
First Max says, dare I say, Bitcoin is moving the market. Vlad Stolyarov
Doubt
says,
that.
bye 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 Kramer voice. Uzi Knesset says ZB value target at 20.
Okay.
Uzi Knesset says also 22 for the session. Tony says 29 T swing ZB.
Yeah, it was a strong move. So I got that one dead wrong. Do you think that they yanked it down there just to pull that? Makes you wonder. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Tony says where will ZB exhaust about 24 area?
Yeah, well, Uzi pointing out that 20 area. It does kind of look like the sellers are going to try and hold it a bit more here. I'm just going to put out some feelers here. Okay.
Skilver says the market will always get crazier. I stopped playing. I plant fruit trees. I learn to garden and I make a large reserve of wines. Uzi Knesset says the propensity for sudden moves up gonna keep me from selling and getting caught in squeezes.
And I don't know.
Tony says 642 buyers here.
One thing I probably need to keep in mind is that the treasuries haven't been moving for a long time, and now they're moving. And when I look on the volume profile, these moves are kind of retracements of things like in past. But when I'm watching it, it's like, holy shit. You know what I mean? So my calibrations might be really off, you know?
Uzi Knesset says yeah. Vlad Stolyarov says for doomsday build garden build bunker buy a tank and gun turret protect the castle.
Not a doomsdayer, sorry. Oh, maybe I will get a... Okay. So did get a tick there.
Vlad Stolyarov says I felt like doomsday in 2007.
There's a bunch of comments in the channel last night.
Skilver says do you know Gregory Manarino? Vlad Stolyarov says nothing too crazy happened, we got bailed out, taxpayer money.
I don't know. Gregory
Skilver says last
Manarino,
video,
sounds familiar.
situation hypercritical. The meltdown is accelerating, be ready for anything.
See a guy on YouTube.
Jay Constant says hello, are you still on the sidelines with Bitcoin?
Oh yeah.
Jay Constant says or did you FOMO?
I mean, have I ever done that on Bitcoin? Like, the thing is when you have a strict quantitative strategy, it's easy to stick into it. Now, that said, it being overvalued, I look at there's a couple of things that I'm looking at, like from a valuations perspective, it's just pretty bad, right? But when I look at how much press there is out there about it and some of the particular market events that may be dictating
Vlad
the action
Stolyarov
in the near
says, yeah,
future.
if you want a FOMO for one day, just buy it on PayPal and see what happens.
Yeah. I see some more potential upside in it. That is to say, I really don't think that they're going to do the big sell, crash, or whatever before Ethereum futures go live. And that's not until like February 8th. So, I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean that 24 is a good spot to buy it, right?
Vlad Stolyarov says good point.
I don't know if I think that there's probably at least two
Vlad
more
Stolyarov
cycles
says,
here.
CNBC says bye bye bye.
Well, there was definitely the move yesterday definitely hit the news wires all picked up on that one pretty hard. pretty hard. I don't know if regular people are really caring, but I'm sure that most of the people that are perpetually watching Bitcoin are in it. But that's the thing, is like when you look at the
Black
last move
Stolyorov
down.
says I am going to check Google Trends. Jay Constant says I think this is the top for Bitcoin. Just look at every previous 17th of December the last 4 years. It signals a bottom or a top. Just look at it.
Is it really the 17th? I just know that seasonally we tend to have sell-offs during this time. I know that. And that's why I said that I think that there's a really good chance of a significant sell-off before the end of the year. I think we may still see it, but like I said, like we could have an ugly sell-off and then it bottom out and then just buy back up again to be prepared for the Ethereum futures, you know? It's the 17th exactly, you say, huh? Well, anyways. And you know, I'm starting to get pump and dumps again, by the way. So yesterday it was a stock that I saw somebody trying to pump and dump. Actually, I think we should go and look at what it does.
Guido Sledden says funny how people get excited about BTC when it's up.
Yeah, well, like, the thing that I don't get is the way that people will come into the stream and ask about it. Jay Constant not being one of those people. Jay Constant, he knows my opinions on it, and I think he asked it in a good way. But I'll get people that'll come in here and they'll be like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin is up, guys. And I'm like, are you saying that? Why are you coming in and telling me that? Why you present it that way? Like, you gotta sit down and think, okay, somebody just used communication to tell us something. What is their motivation in telling us that? Especially when it's like a room of people you've never met before, etc., 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 right? And the only conclusion I can come up with is that they're trying to play PR for it. And the last thing that I want to buy is something that somebody else has already bought and they feel the need to do PR for it. You know what I mean? Like the thing that I want to buy is the thing that somebody maybe bought, or even better yet, they're thinking about buying but haven't bought yet, and they're trying to be as hush-hush about it as possible, you know? Buy the top, boys. Yeah, when they all start getting really noisy about it, I'm just like, okay, this is like definitely, well, now I'm definitely not going to get in. I might miss out on like another 10-20%, but... And man, some of the things that I'm seeing in our push are they were giving me a stock yesterday. This was on TikTok, I think it was. This guy, he was like all in on this stock that is like literally 0.003 cents. That was Bitcoin related. No real information out there about it, but some people saying that it's going to go to zero. I don't know. It was just kind of weird. And it actually did have like a little jump, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, like this is a pump and dump, man. Oh, there's Ace. How are you? You say good going short? Well, so I'm running my robots here, and Reginald went long, and then Travis went short, and they're both still waiting for their targets. Who knows? Maybe they will both make money. That would be funny as heck. That'd be funny as all get out if they both made money. But I'm also watching this move in the treasuries. And the treasuries squeezed up really, really hard, and we had a significant amount of flattening. And that is not typically a positive thing for markets. Travis, is the robot a landscaper in Florida? No, wait, is that I picked names based on so I wanted to have something. I didn't want people to know what they're doing, so I needed to give them code names, but I tried to put enough into the name about what it's doing so that I would remember what the strategy was. So, it says it's too close to the open anyways. Yeah, okay. Anyways, so that's why I've got it the way I do. So I got Reginald, Travis, and then there's Brandon, and what's the other guy's name? Oh, Sean. There's Sean. So we shall see. Reginald and Travis, though, are kind of the more freeform ones, taking the the swings, whereas Brandon and Sean are kind of more the looking at people's positions strategies. So those ones probably will only take one a day, whereas these ones will probably take 3. Well, how much did I lose on my first? Oh, it was so bad. That'll be hard to make up for.
Ace Trades says if you give your robots names, they will become sentient, then apply for workman's comp, want time off, demand a salary, go on strike. Your wife leaves you for one of them. Don't cry to me.
What is it? Your wife leaves is funny. For a robot. Well, let's see how good they actually are at this. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm the equity curve on all of these looks amazing, but we'll see how they really perform on sim here. I'm at a big auto company. Bill Gates says there should be a tax on each robot we have. Yeah. I'm really not a big fan of the whole robots are going to replace us and we need to have basic universal income and all of this kind of nonsense. I really kind of wonder at the mentality or thinking of the people that are really strong believers in this. Looks like Reginald made his money there, which means that Travis now ends up being short from 37.14. Sell it. Just because the thing that bothers me so much about it is that they're not actually solving the problem. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, there will be some people that will make all of the money for us, and the rest of us will just live off of their graciousness. You know, the taxes that we collect from them. You know, it just doesn't. Is that really how you want to live? But the whole thing, I think, is silly. If all of these jobs really do get replaced by robots, like, yeah, it's going to be a problem. But guess what? You have all these people out of work. You think they're just going to sit there? No, they will find ways to make money. Not how we want to live, but probably gonna have to. No, there's way more. People are so ingenious, and they will invent new markets simply because they're bored. So the question really is, at this point, is what is it that the robots can't do? Are there things that the robots truly can't do? Or at least can't do as well as we can? And you have to kind of future-proof it. It's like, are there things that the robots like will never be able to do? Well, yeah, we'll always have stupid nerd collectibles to trade. Okay, well, Travis took the loser. Travis lost that one. Well, I may have to go in and look at them a little bit more and try and game out or combine them or something and try and game out a better setup with the combination. Yeah, I'm sitting on 20 grand in Magic the Gathering cards. What? That's crazy. The amount that people are willing to pay for Pokemon cards is like insane to me. Oh my gosh, there's some crazy stuff with Pokemon cards, man. The value in Magic cards too is pretty insane, especially considering that like there's the desktop computer game now. Like, I guess maybe it helps the value, but geez. Oh man, and now you just got me thinking about Hearthstone. Did you play Hearthstone? Oh my gosh. So I played Hearthstone, and I knew what it was from the beginning. Like, listen, it's a card game. Like, what are these card games about? It's about printing out a piece of paper and giving it value way beyond what you have to spend to make it. It costs like 10 cents and you can sell it for like $10 or whatever the deal is, right? For dollars. Okay. Huge margin on these things. Okay. So Hearthstone gets along, and it was pretty good at the beginning, and over the last one or two expansions or whatever it is that they have, people have started to complain. They're like, they're charging too much and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, what did you guys think was going to happen? It's a card game, guys. Like, the whole point of making the card game was so that they could charge you too much for a piece of paper. Despite that, it still remains incredibly popular. In fact, I was really quite surprised at how popular Hearthstone became at the start of all that. Well, the E-mini continues its move up. Treasuries coming back here significantly. I mean, 138 was kind of one spot where I kind of thought, well, geez, they shouldn't be able to hold this for very long. But and then we got this little squeeze further, so there could be some profit taking down in here. You note that they're not really hitting into a 1. Asus, it says EVO mode. Okay, well, no, it's not FOMO. Oh, yeah, maybe it's a little FOMO. Ooh, do you see that? 37.15 and a quarter, 16.08. They come back to where the big order was, and they're testing him now. Yeah, they just had to stop out. That was one where just kind of a read of the DOM maybe give you a little bit better spot, you know? Look, there's a treasury, another they tick down. Over here in the treasury, it's really hard to do what we're doing because they're not really selling back into them. You know, like, do I really want to add one at 0.5? I would like to be more leveraged on it at the moment, but I don't know. Maybe I should have taken the full clip at 0.3/2. Okay, so I still see some aggressive buying in the E-mini there.
Block buy.
What the fuck? Okay, 3K into 0.5. I don't know. RJ asks, how do you... Well...
RJ Wheels says, how do you think Tesla will affect E-mini?
I really don't know. I'm going to be watching it very carefully because I want to know what happens when you add such a large component like that. Could be really interesting. Oh yeah, so we wanted to go look at our little pump and dump here. Well, the VIX is so significantly lower today. Oh, wow. Gary's one of the stocks that Gary shared with us is doing really well today. So doing a really. What percentage is that? 11. It's up 11% today. Apple's down a little bit. So something's going on in the mining space. So rare earth resources is up almost 8% as well. There's a couple of these that I'm watching that are moving pretty big today for whatever reason. Okay, but we're gonna have to open up a new chart for this. It's like a penny stock. I don't even know if we'll be able to really see anything with a chart, but. Oh, okay. But I can see it. It did get pumped. It's pretty high today. It's up 50% day over day. What? Man, my buy there not working out at all, is it? I don't know if I want to say. No, Rare Earth Resources wasn't the one that Gary shared with us. The one that Gary shared with us was MP. Ticker symbol MP. I don't know if I should share with you guys the... Oh my gosh. Well, hold on a second. It's like less than 1 cent to get this thing. Would be hard to get a good price on it. Oh, it won't even let me look at it. Opening transactions for pink sheets without information are not permitted because of the risks associated with these securities. Oh, so I can't even see what that would be, what that order would look like? Boo. Oh wow, did they trade through all of those? Well, I'm not going to tell you the other one, to be honest with you. MP featured on Kramer last night? Really? Well, then I definitely can't buy it. That's unfortunate. I should have gotten in it already, but I was waiting on it, you know. What were we looking for, actually, now that I think about it? I think I was looking more for like 25. Now it's 31. Yeah, that's right. Well, big volume on it today. But it's usually a very bad idea to buy into something the day right around when Kramer, if it's moving because of Kramer, that would make a lot of sense. Now, on that note, though, that's fine because our other stock that we're looking at is doing really well for us. Actually, my stocks are doing really great today. My Goldman is not doing super hot, but Sumo's doing hot. You see this, they wouldn't stop me out, and now they're up again. Now on this side, it was, yeah, so 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So a little so tick down and immediately push back up at 02. 10-year. I'm really tempted by that MP, man. So I wanted it. It's just frustrating to see it go before you decided to go in on it. It does look like it over bought on the open, but because they're at 30, let's call it 31 right now, and on the open they spike it all the way up to 33. So there's definitely people front running that one. Although I suppose it's a good thing because I'm sitting here thinking, well, so how would I have done this? Let's just say we got 26. $80. Is that correct? Oh, right. No, it's $180. Yes. 190. Or like. So I'm just thinking about it like, oh, if I had bought it, I think I would have ended up buying too much, because that's way too leveraged. You know what I mean? So let's just note that the beta in MP is higher than we thought. Dovish FOMC aftermath? I don't know. Oh, yes. Let's see if people respond to me on Twitter here. Oh, man, there was a bunch of stuff in here. Oh, Brannigan actually makes a good point here. He responded to me directly, actually. He was saying, I have a different take. I believe there's a surge in demand for the underlying at present, which means valuations are irrelevant until they're relevant. Expandable in mind as Tesla could easily see Bitcoin at 30K, not because it's fair value, sure. Well, my long didn't work again. So I guess they just want to sell it. I don't know. Oh, Reginald went short, in fact. See, I bought here and it didn't really. Man, sorry I'm not like saying anything to you guys, but I'm just reading this Twitter thread and like responding to it. What can you call it when volume expands range but not direction? A bust? Well, I'm not sure what you would call it, but I just want you to realize why does that happen? And probably you're going to see that the market makers are increasing their spread because of some sort of informed trading that happens. Or aren't increasing their spread? What do you mean? Well, I mean, if things tighten, are they really tightening? I don't know. The E-mini is kind of acting kind of weird, to be honest. The Treasury is acting kind of weird, to be honest. You mean they filled in a huge order? Well, this is not that they filled in a huge order. It's that they ended up eating a lot of contracts, probably. Or that an actual piece of news came out. So think about it. If there's actual news that's moving it, then they know that more people are going to come in and that there's going to be more volatility. Then they know that in order to account for the potential movement, they have to increase their spread. Hmm. quick update. McConnell will be on the floor in the latter part of this hour, but not at the moment. That's not necessarily a good thing, is it? Reginald's still not filled here. I think they want that. They're like, well, Seth is still sticking in on this, so we're going to not fill him down here, come up and make him take more contracts, and then go good dish and go all the way up to 138.07. That's what I feel like is happening. I've often thought that if all the traders got together and pushed the sell button, wouldn't that move the market that direction? It would. 100% it would. The question is just how much, and how much of an impact would it have on the overall thing? Like if you all hit the sell button when it really didn't make sense to sell, then it might move down for a little bit and then it's going to come right back on you. And Live Action says, no, read a report recently that retail traders now make up such a small percent of the volume in the market these days. No, it's actually, so the last report that I saw on this showed that JP Morgan was, I think it was for Morgan Stanley or someone like that. And they had where did I put it? So I keep coming back to this thing. But, they looked at different participants in the market and, how influential they are. And they were showing that retail traders were almost as influential as the hedge funds. I say almost, like the hedge funds were like a 25 and retail traders were like a 20. But it wasn't like, people act like that retail trading is like 1% of anything, and no matter what you do, it doesn't affect things. And that's not true. It's not true. If that was true, there would be nobody to sell to, right? Like this whole thing about the public interest comes in and they pump it up, they mark it up, and then the informed traders get out and the public ends up holding it. How does that work if they're only 1% of the market? Then they'd have to sell it to each other. No, retail is a pretty big section. It's enough to move things. It's not the only thing. So who has the biggest slice of the pie? Well, I think that they were looking at it from like mutual funds, hedge funds, retail traders, and like the HFT stuff. And they each had a quarter. I remember where it was and everything, but every time that I try and search for it, it's really hard for me to find. And I think actually maybe I can put it in. I think I put it in this economy channel here. No, that's not it. This is it right here. So you see that? Hit no 3.5. What is GWIM? Oh, Global Wealth and Investment Management. Oh, I got that wrong, actually. So there's Robinhood. There's the options, and then hedge funds, right? And then institutional is this one down at the bottom, and global wealth management is this little one in the middle. I'm familiar with Matt. I'm not, don't watch, so. But you're right. I'm not a huge fan of low R trading strategies. So you'll notice that the ones that I've truly backtested and everything. So, this robot is doing okay. Equal risk reward. So they lumped us in with Robinhood. That hurts a little. Yeah, but you see there in that picture, obviously, hedge funds are a really big mover. People trading options are a really big part of the market, and they're larger than Robinhood. But Robinhood isn't so small that it's irrelevant. Yeah. Anyways, so here's the issue with a low R trade, and I have this in tons of videos, and I talk about this all the freaking time. But if you believe that you have a probabilistic setup, then why do you need to have a larger stop than your target? And therein lies the problem. Now, if your trade is less than the average harmonic rotation, then that's one thing. But in order for a trade like that to really work out, it's going to have to go your way like almost immediately, right? Oh, wait, Ace went short. I should have gone short at one point on my own, but I didn't. I guess I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, I would like to do it equal risk reward because then I actually know if there's actually a real probabilistic edge with it. And with these robots, supposedly they're all hitting about 55%, but that's only over the past year, so I don't know. Okay, so Reginald got his trade. Oh, did you said it earlier and I wasn't paying attention. You're right. But you do have 10% of the money that I don't make by ignoring your calls. The funny thing is that very often the ones that I follow in with are the ones that don't work out. It's like the market fights me. Well, market looks sad. I guess this is just, might be a retrace of the gap. Nope. Well, got that one wrong. And look, the treasury's bid up again. I'm really disappointed that these didn't get filled, man. Man, I've got so many notifications from this Twitter. What I find amazing is all this publicity around to attract people to Bitcoin. This is not the case for other serious markets in general, funds, stocks, futures. When they do all-time high, you don't make it into a movie. How far back did Reginald have to sit in that? Okay. Yeah. I'm sure that now because I've bought it, they sold it. Sorry, they'll buy it up now. Technically, we could buy it here, couldn't we? Well, okay, I'm going to try it. I feel like Reginald got a little lucky there, don't you think? Vlad says more deal helps. Fingers crossed we may come up with a deal today, says NBC News' Turner tweets quoting Senator Durbin. Well, I think I'm still okay long. Treasuries still look a little scared. Okay. Well, that was okay right there. You see somebody shoving it. When he hits into it, somebody else hits back, but there's probably a lot of market makers willing to put the liquidity out right here. It's kind of what it looks like at the moment. Just like, I think the market makers are more than willing to take the fills at 04 and 04 half if the Treasury decides to push through that. Oh, Reginald wants to go short again. That right there is not positive. Did you try? You didn't try taking one there, did you, Ace? You say you're done. The E-mini is definitely being difficult, let's say. So we pretty much, I think the roll is over. The volume is not anymore. It's still pretty, ugh, Do you get losses deducted by the IRS? Yeah, if I do. Just to remind you, I'm trading sim today. Mm-mm. Hmm. See, this is where I get frustrated. So this time it's not that I'm moving my stops or anything like that. I'm just wrong every fucking time, no matter what. Like, I feel like that my trading, my own discretionary trading in the E-mini is becoming incredibly disorganized and random, and yet the calls are so incredibly bad. Yeah. Like, that's like, I can buy it here, I guess, but hmm. Hmm. I'm surprised I haven't seen Brandon here. I can find my losses and get tax deductions on them. IRS would owe me big money. Really? Well, you can deduct up to like, you can deduct quite a bit of your losses. Yes. And your broker will send you a statement and you'll just see how it goes. Okay. Phil's, thank you. Still like that 0.5, but might be asking a bit too much. But if you're racking up losses, maybe you were doing it wrong. Well, sure, but like 95% of people do that, Ace. I've done it before, so I can tell you. Your broker will send you a statement and you fill out, like you get the TurboTax and you put in every tax form that gets sent to you from all your different accounts and all your other things, and then it does all the math for you, and you will find that you get a pretty big deduction off of it if you lost money. What? How? People lose money? Yeah, they do. It really is just crazy to think about, right? Just martingale until you make up stop surfer. There you go. Well, that's what I'm doing here, apparently. If you own Bitcoin but don't tell everyone that you own it, do you really own it? There you go. I really am. Maybe it's just the day's action. I don't know, because the robots, okay, it's like Reginald is lost one there, right? So we've had, oh, is he 1-2? Wait a second. Oh. Oh, wait. How did he? Oh, well, I don't quite understand that, but it seems to suggest. Oh, I see. Yeah, it did win 2. It won a long and it won a short. So that one has made money. But then I got Travis took one and took a loss, right? So it may be that the reason I've had so much trouble over here is because of that. Okay, so they finally fill me in a 1.5. I actually think I'd rather. Robinhood failed to disclose payments it received from trading firms for routing customer orders to them, according to the SEC. Thank you. Get him. Trump tweeting that he's going to veto the defense bill. Just put on 2,000 contracts. And how many should I let it go against me? I still like I ask this all the time because I can't figure it out. I say it and I'm not just like self-pitying myself. I want to know, why is it that it will go into this mode where no matter what I do, buy, sell, where it is, however random it appears to be, it will lose every fucking time. Like when it starts to perform so much exponentially worse than it should, like something's wrong. How does that happen? And it's one thing if I'm not holding the stop. So I if I try and go for larger targets, that's a different thing. But that's not what's been happening today. I guess I can do that. He says, I hear you and I think the same thing, but I feel like it's my job to talk you off the edge. It's just random. It isn't because you, well, and it's that, I mean, you lose like 5 times in a row. That's not random. If you flip a coin 50 times and it comes up heads 40 times, is that random? At some point, you got to start to wonder if the coin is weighted. You know what I mean? So then you sit down and you think, well, maybe there's something I'm doing in my strategy or what I'm seeing and how I'm taking it that's wrong. But then when I look back at it and I'm like, well, but I feel like that some of what I've been doing has been a little random, then the results that come out, then that wouldn't make sense either. 1,000 people flipping coins, someone's going to get 5 heads in a row? Happens way too often though, man. That's not just like, I mean, like, what are the chance? Well, okay, let's do this. If I take 3 trades a day times 200, okay, so chance of X loss in a row. There's calculator somewhere. Losing streak probability calculator. Sports betting review. Okay. So if it's a 600 and I'm going to get 5 in a row, well, the chances of it happening once is 100%. Now let's say in a week. So 3 times 5 in 15. 20%. Okay, so the chances of it happening are higher than I thought, but I think that it's happening like every day. No, it doesn't feel like that because it's impactful. I can go back and I can look at stats and see it. It's fighting the one with the most brain power and speed is going to win. People are sat next to exchange with their AI plugged in. Perhaps. The win rate should still be able to be much higher than that. Maybe if it's at 30% here, let me go back. Control Shift, or no. Just So what if I say that my loss probability is 60%? And I want a streak of 5. 35%. I don't know. I'll be right back. I'm going to use the bathroom. Okay. E-mini is still where it was. The little bit of selling coming through, though. Senator Stroon says, I think a short-term stopgap funding bill of 1 to 2 days is a real possibility. Don't know if that's affecting them. And there they go again. So that is 4 in a row. No, that is more than 4 in a row. That is 1, 2, 3, 5 in a row. That almost never went my way. How do you explain that? And there was one that just didn't fill. The White House is optimistic of a stimulus deal in the next 24 to 48 hours. They're buying on that. They really are just messing with it here, aren't they? Does a range and I trade breakouts? Well, not necessarily. I just want it to move 16 ticks, that's all. Did the range? Well, yeah, the range is it has. I do see that it has expanded. I don't think it's more than 16 though. I guess I don't really have a swing indicator on here to know exactly, do I? Well, this is the thing is that like if it's moving more than that is more than 16 ticks, for instance, right? And the question is just how come I haven't had a random winner off of one of those? So like, let's just watch this. How random do you think my entry was there at 37.10? Never trade but the day of and after, before, of, and after a quad witching. Oh, there you go. So I got 2 ticks of favorable excursion and I've had 8 against me. Right? So clearly, even though it might eventually come in my way, it wasn't really a great entry spot. I guess I've never really gotten super efficient entries in the E-mini like I sometimes do in the treasury. I mean, like on this one, I got a really efficient entry in the treasury. Right. So you see that they went 1 in my favor. Now they're coming back. So like I was hardcore late on this. Mm. Why that spot? What you're saying is not wrong, but it doesn't explain why I'll only get 2 in my favor and this many against me. What is it about that spot that's so awful? Unless I should be trying to wait for fills down in here. Like I did try to get a fill down here and it just ran away from me, right? Ian Shepherdson, jobless claims numbers today are even worse than they look. The seasonals pointed clearly to a hefty drop, so the underlying picture appears to be deteriorating rapidly. No one should be surprised given the rolling restrictions being applied around the country. No. So when I take manual trades in the E-mini, I am not trading something that should always be a breakout or should always be a mean reversion or whatever. It is very dependent on the day and the news and what is particularly happening in that situation. So it's not like it only does well when there's breakouts or it only does well when there's ranges. I can do well in either kinds of situation and I adjust based off of that. So that doesn't explain it. What the question is what is it about that spot that in this particular situation makes it so bad? Doesn't matter that today is a range. I should be able to make money within that range. I should be able to buy at 37.10 and sell at 37.12 like 5 or 6 times. but it won't go. So again, I ask, what is it about that spot? Because as far as I can tell, there's nothing special about that spot. I guess now there has been some volume on it. Yeah, it's only a range, which is in after there. By the way, nice to see you again, Greg. It's been a while. Reginald tries to go short again. I see why. So the little tick down in the treasury was a little curious. So that one doesn't really fit with what the other markets are doing. You can see it's kind of flirting around with it, but they're not hitting it really. Okay. He flipped. Hi. See, this is exactly why we run these, because that is not what I expected off of everything that I've looked at. Hmm. I need to change that. Okay. I see why it is doing that. Now, and it looks like their treasury extending quite a bit lower now. The ace says, I see him as that all out of nothing. I don't know. It's actually trading a pretty wide range on 1 minute bars. Okay. So screw this. I'm going to start over. I'm going to switch over here to this. We got something Kansas Fed Manufacturing Index here in a minute. Wait, how did that happen? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, that makes more sense. So fix that and... Ace, if I don't get a chance to tell you later, it's sure
Ace
like you, your
Trades says
family
it
in the chat
forever real
room. Thanks,
California.
man.
Yes. Why would you think different?
It could, it will, so I think you were, somebody was saying earlier about, you know, that we've got a witching and it's December and everything. That could definitely be a factor in here, but I'm just awfully frustrated in my trading in the ES. So you think you have something and then it ends up doing so poorly. We'll see what the robots all end up doing in here on this. I see a problem with Reg, which is interesting because Reg gets like 55%. But if I can fix these problems, maybe it will do even better, and maybe I can get him to do a 2-to-1 risk
Vlad
reward.
Stolyarov says it's been bad for me too. Started Monday.
So I don't know. It sure does seem like
Vlad
I don't
Stolyarov
pick very
says
good
I am
prices.
just gonna avoid option quad witching. Ace Trades says at Vlad Stolyarov maybe smaller targets.
Well, that's why I said, okay, let's start over.
Vlad Stolyarov
Small
says
targets.
I was all in long. Sugar Daddy says what did you see in the US Open order flow? Vlad Stolyarov says Monday.
Oh, I saw that they were bullish and then it reversed down and we're currently in an expanding range. I'd also say that the change in Delta was pretty lackluster compared to earlier. There was this sell a little bit earlier, but that appears to just have been like
Sugar
a temporary
Daddy says
new
how
spike.
bullish though?
It was tepid, I'd say. It was tepid, but it was enough given the situation.
Forever Real California says Ace Trades you've been in the education business for a while. I remember seeing you stuff a long time ago. I guess you're one of the
I think you've
successful
got-
vendors.
I think you might be talking about somebody else. Ace is not really a vendor.
Greg Orlovsky says monthly stats up a pathetic 900 broke win rate 71.88% max consecutive losers 3 max consecutive wins 3 total trades 32.
What's your average winner and average loser?
Ace Trades says at Forever Real California yes, that is the same guy. I run a successful trading room out of Canada, but I take my time and volunteer in this room, making live calls.
Well, that's true, but you've only been doing that for a few months. The reason why for real is like, oh, you've been doing that for a long time, and I'm like, you must be thinking somebody else because he's only been doing that for
Forever
a
Real
few
California
months.
says well there was an Ace Trades vendor years ago.
Yeah, and you must be thinking about somebody else.
Sugar Daddy says if it was tepid then it will take time to go up maybe the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that, Sugar Daddy.
Forever Real California says maybe they are different. Ace Trades says at Forever Real California there still is.
Shouldn't have been reading that. I should have been buying it at 07, but that's fine. Here.
Ace Trades says at Forever Real California, use a little logic, evidence and reason and think through it.
I think I've been looking over there too much. I'm just going to leave you guys on read. On auto read.
Ace Trades says at Forever Real California would a guy who sells a trading room education come in here and give trades away? Greg Orlovsky says AVG win 98.64 AVG loss minus 154.07.
Okay. So that maybe makes sense. So it's not quite 0.5, it's like 0.6, 0.7. Well, let's read it.
Greg Orlovsky
Commissions
says com
included.
included.
Okay. .64.
Greg Orlovsky says com 165.
I really feel that for me and my risk profile that, and for the majority of retail traders, and Greg is a much more experienced person. He's been doing this for a long time. I really feel that for most traders that a risk reward above a 1 is more appropriate.
Greg Orlovsky says I suck smiley face.
Oh, I'm just glad to see you still around. Readers being slow now.
Greg Orlovsky says S very hard. Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky not according to your bank account. Lol.
ES
Greg
is very
Orlovsky
hard.
says hi Ace.
You know, and that's one of the other things that I've wondered about ES is like, a lot of this movement is random. I've gotten some trades that are like 55%. Oh, when you were not here for a few days, Seth hacked in your bank and showed everyone. Why is the readers being slow? I don't know why.
Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky when you were not here for a few days, Seth hacked in your bank and showed everyone your account. Live Action says there is a book by the same name. Sugar Daddy says let's celebrate randomness. Greg Orlovsky says haha oh man now he's broke too. Sugar Daddy says randomness is opportunity. Ace Trades says at Sugar Daddy go random chance universe.
Connell speaking now. I warn against last minute hangups over coronavirus deal. Okay.
Live Action says McConnell deal close. Greg Orlovsky says it's been so bad for me I had to take a second job.
Really? But you're still trading. I remember when it started
Sugar
getting
Daddy
hard
says
for
Soros inefficient market hypothesis.
That was like a year ago, wasn't it? But do you think that next year it'll be easier? Okay, well, it finally took one.
Greg Orlovsky says yes second shift. Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky sorry to hear that. Greg Orlovsky says IDK Dom trading notable to read. Forever Real California says yes a vendor would so he can get looked at. Don't be offended, I just remember an Ace Trades from a few years back. I am a
Yeah,
trader
I'm pretty
as well,
sure there were
not a vendor.
there must
I
have
am
been
not
another
offending
one.
you. Just asking, buddy.
And in fact, I seem to recall John maybe saying
Greg
there was
Orlovsky
someone.
says not able.
What?
Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky, my biggest fear about having to get a job is the inordinate time I spend in the bathroom. Who is going to pay me to toilet?
Well, it's turning even more range bound here, isn't it? This is very turny
Greg
here.
Orlovsky says working for the man is horrid.
Wow, look at the treasury go.
Ace Trades says at Forever Real California, sure. That guy's name is Kevin. He lives in Canada and builds cabins in his spare time. I don't know if he actually takes live trades, but he makes a boatload from cells. Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky, do you wear a tie? That is my line to cross.
I really need to develop something so that when I talk, it won't start reading it yet, you know?
Greg Orlovsky says haha Ace, no, I move a lot of freight for an old guy.
I'm also wondering if, okay, here's another theory. Maybe I'm been tuning myself
Ace
into the
Trades says at
treasury
Greg
more.
Orlovsky, okay, that is perfectly acceptable.
Maybe I'm tuning myself into the treasury and I'm misreading the
Forever Real
ES
California
because of
says
that.
yup, all vendors make a boatload from selling education. That is the main source of making money in this industry. As traders, we are the 5% who make money through trading.
I don't make a ton of money. Hey, you can go and you can subscribe to this channel, an elite subscription,
Ace
and you
Trades
can
says at
use
Greg
my trading
Orlovsky,
indicators.
I'm sure you have done the numbers, but a couple points on the amini a day keeps the job away.
Is that still Reginald that's long there? Yeah. He is long and he's holding on to it. President Joe Biden runs a commercial
Greg
for Warnock
Orlovsky
and
says Ace, I
Ossoff.
got frustrated and started moving my stop losses wide.
Oh, no, 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 no.
Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky, oh gosh, that is my kryptonite. That and revenge trading.
Kind of we're going to stay right here until we are finished. Good deal. We're going to get it. It's going to happen. Monday, we'll all be celebrating.
Greg Orlovsky says especially in fast volatility moves. Ace
Okay.
Trades says at
Finally
Greg
caught a
Orlovsky,
winner.
the NQ is suicide.
Oh, there you go. That too. So help me out here. If you have an idea here for me, you let me know. You could get on Discord, message me. I'm looking for a positional edge.
Greg Orlovsky says yep, no NQ. Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky, and I've become less of a hater for the micro S.
Yeah, the micro S is great. I'm looking for an edge that will give you it will reduce your maximum adverse excursion. That's what I'm looking for. I want to reduce my maximum adverse exposure by a point or two.
Sugar Daddy says, where do you live?
Oh, you know what? I tried something the other day. Maybe this one, let's see. So I tested it on itself, and I didn't test it with other stuff. Oh, that's not what I want. I want a strategy analyzer. Did it get saved?
Greg Orlovsky says I had that edge, but I blow it with my psychology.
Okay. There was a little bit of volume here, by the way.
Ace Trades says at Sugar Daddy, I have lived in the non-extradition country of Nano for years now.
So on that one, the MAE is 7 and the MFE is 9.
Forever Real California says the edge of having less adverse excursion is getting in on a momentum move or breakout.
Okay. Fair point, Forever Real, but how do I do that and be fast enough? And how do you identify a move that has enough momentum that is really going to continue?
Ace Trades says at Sugar Daddy, kidding. I live near Seth.
I often find myself buying into momentum only to find yourself buying the top, you know? This strategy over here that's I'm testing, I bet you that if I did a low R on this that it would work. What did I call it? Oh, that's right.
Sugar Daddy says psychology is penultimate to edge.
No, it's not. So it's not really all that helpful to you if you don't actually have a quantitative edge.
Live Action says increase edge by reduced risk equals trade smaller.
I mean, the thing is you gotta have both, right? You have to have the psychology going for you. But if you don't actually have an edge over the other participants in the market, it doesn't matter. And having just a psychological edge over the other participants in the market, I don't think is enough. A look at the price action of the tick counter and how fast the trades are going off, coupled with levels that can't hold. It is visually must be fast, but you can practice.
Forever Real California says I look at the price action and tick counter, and how fast the trades are going off, coupled with levels that can't hold.
Let me ask you something.
It is visual and you must be fast,
then.
but you can practice.
So let me show you a chart over here. You look at the screen. So here is a chart of the S&P 500 with what I call price pivots.
Forever Real California says psychology isn't the only edge.
We'll add the zigzag on here. So you can see it a little bit more visually. Well, that didn't really help. So you can't see the zig. Hold on.
Sugar Daddy says at ACE Trades, where does Seth live?
I live in north of Salt Lake City.
Ace Trades says at Sugar Daddy, you are going to have to get that info from him. I don't put other folks' business out there.
Okay, so do you see the little zigs? When you say levels that can't hold and so forth, is that how you are determining levels? Is previous pivots or swings? Or are you basing it more off of the DOM and other information? So I find it very difficult to find a price in the S&P 500 that will reliably hold or not hold. You know what I mean? Run this thing and with it forced profits and targets and stuff and see what it does. Okay, McConnell's still talking about the bill, apparently. Oh, why is it taking so long? Only a year's worth of data. I guess I just don't have as much CPU available at the moment. And now it's speeding up. 29.5. Oh, that made it considerably worse. If I just force it to take it in here and then... You use a cut formation and smaller tick pivots coupled with momentum. I know everyone loves CS, but I am not a successful ES trader because of the stalls. Oh, wait, so what do you trade in Forever Real? To be honest, I don't really like ES. It just matches my risk profile the best. You can tell I like the 10-year. I suppose I could trade the 10-year, but yeah, I mean, you see this, like, I actually, when I start trading multiple contracts and market making on it, I do okay in the 10-year, don't you think? I would need a lot more money to do it. I'd need a lot more money. You do NQ, CL, GC, NG. Okay, so you're definitely trading what should we call it? The more slippery instruments here. I'm gonna have to take one off there. Oh wait, what did I do here? I didn't start it. Okay, run. There we go. Yes, if you name them slippery, I guess that is a valid name for them. They will give you more movement when you are on if you have reasonable targets. Yes. I gotcha. So we're realizing, though, that I get what you're saying. So you're saying that it's not necessarily a viable strategy in the S&P 500 per se, but it is still useful information. If the 10s are too big, trade the 5s. I mean, that's not a bad idea, actually. The issue over there, see, the thing that's frustrating about the treasuries is even though the tick size is different, I don't think that the margins they give you change. Hold on, let me check if that's changed. Financials. Okay, so they did change it. It's $387 to trade the 10-year note now, and $162 to trade the 5-year, and it's only $650 to hold them overnight. Okay. Next week, we will continue doing this. Wait, so what would be appropriate? Let's say, oh man, this is hard. I mean, it's half of this. I don't want to risk what would be, okay. So if we start out with, let's say we start out with a $1,500 account, we wouldn't want to risk more than $150 a day, right? $150 a day. Now I'm just realizing, okay, I don't really know how to calculate this. Because the thing is like, what would be the maximum number of contracts that I would be willing to do? So over here in the treasury, I'm doing like 4 contracts, and that was kind of just arbitrary. But I think that part of it would have to be based off of what like the range tends to be and everything. So like if we say that it's going to be, well, and how much is it per tick again? It's going to be 725 or something like that. 1,000 divided by 128, right? 7.8125. Okay. Times, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 16. That would be 125. So I could maybe do 2 contracts. Have you ever been to Toronto? No. Reginald, he got away with it there. Oh, I didn't realize what time it was. Well, the test results on that are kind of interesting. I don't know what the deal is there with that. You have to trade multiple contracts in the 10-year and be happy if you make 10% of the possession average to range. Okay, sure. Yeah, well, it's time for me to get going, so I'm just going to hit this out. Rough session. I don't know. I'll look at it. But we can try and test it next week. I will see you guys tomorrow. Stay